Hi, in this tutorial we shall see the last topic of the chapter quadratic equations, that is the nature of roots. As the chapter proceeds, we shall first look into the theory of nature of roots as to what they mean, what is the significance and importance. Then we shall take up a few examples and illustrations and apply what we have learned. Finally, we shall revise whatever we learned in this tutorial and conclude with the chapter of quadratic equations. Let us quickly revise our concepts before we move further into the core of nature of roots. If you recall, a quadratic equation in standard form is of the form ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. Here a, b and c were constants and x is a variable. If you observe, the x has a power 2, that means the highest degree in this equation is 2. So we call it a quadratic equation. Solutions to a quadratic equation, that is the value of x when we solve ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, are called zeros or roots. A quadratic equation when plotted on a graph, that is a quadratic equation of the form ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, when we trace it on a graph paper, we get a parabola as shown in this picture. We try to plot the quadratic equation 2x square minus x plus 3 equal to 0, and we got a parabola with its mouth open upwards as seen in the picture. Roots or zeros, that is the value of x when the quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 is solved, can be obtained by any of the following methods. We saw all these methods in the previous tutorials. If you recall, the method of factorization involves the splitting of the middle term and then making two equations such that we get two values of x. Then we learnt about the method of completing the square, where we used to make whole squares on both the sides, the left hand side and the right hand side, and take under root to find the value of x. Then we saw the graphical method, in which we used to plot the quadratic equation on a graph paper and find its intersection with the x-axis. The intersection points used to be the solutions of the quadratic equation. Then we finally saw how to use the quadratic formula, which was given by our own Indian mathematicians in the past. In previous tutorials, we explored each of these methods with illustrations. Let us now examine the roots thus obtained by any of the following methods. Nature of the roots. So what do we mean by nature of the roots? Why are they so important? Let us try to understand the word nature of the roots and their importance with the help of an example. In a right triangular playground, the perpendicular has a length x meter and the base is 10 meters longer than the perpendicular. If the area of the playground is 12 meter squares, find the two sides. Let us see how we can use the concept of nature of roots in solving this problem and how it is important that we know the nature of the roots before we proceed and find the values of these sides. From the information given in the question, we know the perpendicular side of the triangle is x meters. Now the base is 10 meters longer, so its length will be x plus 10 meters. Now if you take a right triangle, say this triangle, where one side is the perpendicular and the bottom side is the base, then area of the right triangle is given by half into base into perpendicular. Let us use this and try to formulate an equation. According to the question, we know area of the triangle is 12 meters square. Hence I get half into x plus 10 equal to 12, where x is the perpendicular side and x plus 10 is the base. On solving, we get x square plus 10x minus 24 equal to 0, which is a quadratic equation. Thus we can solve this equation to get the values of the two sides using any of the methods. But wait, will we get the solution? Is such a triangle possible? To answer this question, we must study the nature of the roots. So what do we mean by the nature of the roots? And let us see how the nature of the roots can help us identify if a quadratic equation is solvable with real roots or not. If you recall from the previous tutorial on using the quadratic formula, we had derived the roots of quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 using the completion of square method to get x equal to minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac by 2a, which could be split into two roots, with the first root being minus b by 2a plus under root b square minus 4ac by 2a, and the second root being minus b by 2a minus under root b square minus 4ac by 2a. This formula was given by an Indian mathematician Sridharacharya in the past. Now based on this, we had stated certain conditions with respect to the discriminant. Now what is the discriminant here? B square minus 4ac, this quantity is called the discriminant of the quadratic equation. Now b square minus 4ac can be either greater than 0, or it can be less than 0, or it can be equal to 0. Based on this, different conditions were put in the picture. This is how we define the nature of the roots. Let us individually take these cases and see what it means. Physical significance of the nature of the roots based on the discriminant's value. Case number 1, when the discriminant b square minus 4ac is greater than 0. When the discriminant is greater than 0, the roots are real and distinct. On a graph, when we draw a parabola representing a quadratic equation with a positive discriminant, it cuts the x-axis at two real and distinct points. Consider the quadratic equation as an example. We have x square plus x minus 6 equal to 0. Here the coefficient of x square, that is a, is 1, coefficient of x or b is 1, and the constant c is minus 6. So b square minus 4ac will yield 1 square minus 4 into 1 into minus 6, or discriminant equal to 25. Coefficient of x square in this equation is positive. Hence, if we plot this equation on a graph paper, the mouth will be open upwards. Let us see how it looks. Like shown in the figure, the parabola will have its mouth facing upwards and will cut the x-axis at two distinct points. In this case, it cuts the x-axis at minus 3 and plus 2. Case number 2, that is when the discriminant or b square minus 4ac is equal to 0. When the discriminant is equal to 0, the roots are real and repeating, that is the two roots of the equation, quadratic equation, are equal. On a graph, this is represented by a parabola touching the x-axis at exactly one point. So when it touches the x-axis at exactly one point, there is only one value of x which satisfies the parabola's equation. Consider this quadratic equation as an example. X square minus 2x plus 1 equal to 0. Here the coefficient of x square or a is 1, coefficient of x is minus 2, and the constant c is 1. Hence b square minus 4ac yields minus 2 whole square minus 4 into 1, which is equal to 4 minus 4, or the discriminant being equal to 0. Again, as the coefficient of x square or a is positive, the parabola has its mouth open upwards. This is how it will look when plotted on a graph sheet. If you observe, the parabola touches the x-axis at exactly one point, that is at x equal to 1, and has its mouth open upwards. Case number 3, that is the discriminant or the quantity b square minus 4ac is less than 0. When the discriminant is less than 0, the roots are imaginary. What I mean by this is, it cannot be represented on a real number line. On a graph, this is represented by a parabola which does not touch the x-axis. So if a parabola does not cut the x-axis at all, the values of x satisfying the parabola are imaginary because they do not exist physically. Consider the quadratic equation as an example. X square minus 2x plus 2 equal to 0. Here the discriminant is calculated by substituting the values in b square minus 4ac equal to 0. Here b is minus 2, a is 1, and c is 2. So b square minus 4ac yields 4 minus 4 into 2 into 1, which is equal to 4 minus 8, or the discriminant equal to minus 4, which is a negative number. As the coefficient of x square or a is positive, the parabola has its mouth open upwards. When you try to plot this on a graph sheet, it will not cut the x-axis. Let us see how it looks. As shown, the parabola does not cut the x-axis, and it's 1 unit above the x-axis in fact. And it has its mouth open upwards because the coefficient of x square is a positive number. Based on what we learned, let us take up a few examples and illustrations and see how the nature of roots helps us in solving quadratic equations and understanding the nature of the problem. Example number 1. Find the discriminant of the equation 3x square minus 9x minus 21 equal to 0. Based on this, comment on the nature of the roots. By nature of the roots, I mean check whether discriminant is equal to 0, that is, the equation has repeating roots, or check whether discriminant is greater than 0 or the equation has distinct roots, or check whether the equation has a discriminant less than 0 or imaginary roots. Let us try to solve this problem. Before we move further, I urge you to take down the problem on a piece of paper and try to solve it along with me so that you can get practice and a better feel of this topic. We have 3x square minus 9x minus 21 equal to 0 as the quadratic equation. If you observe, the coefficient of x square or a is 3, the coefficient of x or b is minus 9, and the coefficient or the constant c is minus 21. Let us substitute the values of a, b, c into the formula for the discriminant. If you recall, the formula for discriminant was b square minus 4ac. So on substitution we get minus 9 whole square minus 4 into minus 21 into 3, which on solving becomes delta equal to 81 minus of minus 252 or 81 plus 252. Hence we get the discriminant as 333, which is a positive number. Hence the discriminant of the quadratic equation 3x square minus 9x minus 21 equal to 0 is a positive number. Hence the roots are real and distinct. Or the parabola representing it will cut the x-axis at two distinct points. Let us take our second example now. Find the discriminant of the quadratic equation 3x square minus 9x plus 21 equal to 0. Based on this, comment on the nature of the roots. By nature of the roots, I mean to say, check whether the discriminant is 0, greater than 0 or less than 0, based on which you can say if the roots are repeating, distinct and real, or imaginary. So let us see how we can solve this. We have the quadratic equation as 3x square minus 9x plus 21 equal to 0. If we observe in this, the coefficient of x square or a is 3, the coefficient of x or b is minus 9, and the constant c is 21. Substituting these values in the formula for the discriminant, we can find the value. If you recall, discriminant is given by b square minus 4ac. So on substitution, we get delta equal to minus 9 whole square minus 4 into 21 into 3, which on simplification yields 81 minus 252, or the discriminant is negative 171. The discriminant of the quadratic equation 3x square minus 9x plus 21 equal to 0 is a negative number. What does this tell us? This means the roots are imaginary, and the parabola, when traced on a graph, shall not intersect the x-axis at all. Stop! Wait! What do you observe? Is something wrong? What can we infer from examples 1 and 2? Weren't they both similar? If you had noticed, the coefficients were same in quantity in both the equations. That is, in both the examples, the quantities of the coefficients were exactly the same. yet one had real and the other had imaginary roots. From this, we can deduce a simple shortcut to identify equations with real and distinct roots. In a quadratic equation, if either a or the coefficient of x square or c, the constant, is negative, not both at the same time, if either one of them is negative, then the quadratic equation will always have real and distinct roots. Like take the first example, we had 3x square minus 9x minus 21 equal to 0. Here the constant is negative while the coefficient of x square or a is positive. So one of them is negative, so according to the shortcut, this should have real and distinct roots. Whereas in our second example, 3x square minus 9x plus 21 equal to 0. In this, both the constant and the coefficient of x square are not negative. Neither is any one of them negative. So, do we say that this has imaginary roots? Well, not exactly. The thing is, such an equation can have real or imaginary. You have to solve for such problems. Try this problem. We have minus 3x square minus 9x minus 21 equal to 0. What can you say about the roots of this equation? Are they real or imaginary? Well, because here the coefficient of x square and constant both are negative at the same time, we cannot really comment, and the answer is they can be real or imaginary. Moving on to our third example. There is a special shrimp pond that has been developed for inland shrimp cultivation. The pond is a circle of diameter 13 meters and has two entrances that are exactly opposite to each other. A temperature and humidity regulator needs to be placed at a point P on the circle such that the difference of its distances from the two entrances is 7 meters. Using a knowledge on the nature of roots, determine if this is possible. If yes, at what distances should the regulator be erected from the two entrances? Let us try and solve this problem. Let's see where the regulator must be placed or whether it can be placed. First, let us construct the pond, which is circular in shape and has a diameter of 13 meters. There are two entrances on the opposite ends of the diameter, and there is a regulator placed on the perimeter. If we join these 3 points, we get a triangle where the diameter of the circle representing the distance between the two entrances as 13 meters. If distance between the regulator and the first entrance, that is AR, be x meters, then we have the information given in the question that the difference between the distances of the regulator from the two entrances is 7 meters. Hence, RA minus RB equal to 7 meters, which on rearranging yields x minus RB equal to 7 meters, or RB is simply x plus 7 meters. So the distance between the regulator and the second entrance is x plus 7 meters. If you recall from the chapter on circles, we had learnt about an interesting property. A diameter subtends a right angle on a circle. Consider this circle. Let us draw the diameter of the circle as AB. Let us take any point P on the perimeter of the circle. Join AP and PP. Now, according to the property, angle APB is equal to 90 degrees. As the line joining the two entrances forms the diameter of the pond, the angle subtended by it at the regulator should be 90 degrees. Hence, by Pythagoras theorem, I can say the base square plus perpendicular square should be equal to hypotenuse square. We can formulate the following equation using the Pythagoras theorem. In this triangle, where A is the first entrance, B is the second entrance, and R is the regulator, I can say RA square plus RB square should be equal to AB square. On substituting the values of these distances, we get x square, that is RA square, plus x plus 7 whole square, that is RB square, equal to 13 square, which is the diameter. On simplifying and opening this, we get x square plus 14x plus 49 equal to 169, which on rearranging yields 2x square plus 14x minus 120 equal to 0, or simply x square plus 7x minus 60 equal to 0. Thus we have obtained a quadratic equation. Let us determine the nature of the roots of this quadratic equation and see if it is possible to fix the regulator under the given conditions. So what we basically have to check is if the nature of the roots yields real and distinct solutions or not. That is, the discriminant is greater than 0 or not. For determining the nature, like before, we must find the discriminant of the quadratic equation. Discriminant is given by, if you recall, b square minus 4ac. Let us see what we get. In the quadratic equation, x square plus 7x minus 60 equal to 0, a is 1, that is the coefficient of x square is 1, b is 7, that is the coefficient of x is 7, and the constant c is minus 60. Substituting, we get discriminant delta equal to 7 whole square minus 4 into 1 into minus 60, which on simplification gives 49 minus 240, or simply delta equal to 289. That is, the discriminant is a positive number because it is greater than 0. As the discriminant of the quadratic equation x square plus 7x minus 60 equal to 0 is positive, the equation has real and distinct roots. Therefore, it is possible to place the regulator under the given set of conditions. Now that we know that the regulator can be placed along the perimeter of the circular pond, let us try to find the distances of the regulator from the two entrances A and B. If this is the pond, we have the first entrance A, second entrance B, and the regulator R. We want to find the distance AR and we want to find the distance RB. Solving the quadratic equation using the quadratic formula, we can get the distances AR and RB from the quadratic equation that we formed earlier. Quadratic formula, if you recall, yields the solution x equal to minus b plus minus under root of b square minus 4ac upon 2a, which could be divided into two separate roots, the first root being minus b minus under root b square minus 4ac by 2a, and the second root being minus b plus under root b square minus 4ac by 2a. Let us substitute in this formula and get the values of the two roots and find the distances AR and RB. On substituting the values of A, B and C in the quadratic formula, we obtain x1, the first root, as minus 7 plus under root 289 by 2, and the second root x2 as minus 7 minus under root 289 by 2. As you know, under root 289 is nothing but 17 square. So this can be simplified as follows. On further simplification, we get x1 as minus 7 plus 17 by 2 and x2 as minus 7 minus 17 by 2, which on further simplification yields x1 as 5 and x2 as minus 12. So the first root is 5 and the second root is minus 12. Let us see if it is the right one. As the distance between the regulator and the entrance cannot be negative, the correct answer has to be x equal to 5 meters. Correspondingly, I can say the distance between the regulator R and the entrance B is x plus 7, that is 7 meters more than the distance between RA, which is equal to 5 plus 7 equal to 12 meters. Hence we have distance between the regulator R and the first entrance is 5 meters, distance between the regulator R and the second entrance is 12 meters, with the diameter being 13 meters. In this example, that is example number 4, we shall retake an example that we took earlier. If you recall, the first example that we took, there was a right triangular playground. The perpendicular had length x meters and the base was 10 meters longer than the perpendicular. We had information that the area of the playground was 12 meters square and we were required to find the two sides. Earlier, in the example, using this formula of finding the area of a right triangle that is half into base into perpendicular, we had deduced the following quadratic equation. We had got x square plus 10x minus 24 equal to 0. Let us see if the solution to this quadratic equation is practically possible or not. We know the discriminant is given by b square minus 4ac. Substituting the values, we get delta as 10 square minus 4 into 1 into minus 24, which on simplification becomes 100 minus of minus 96, or the delta becomes 196. As this is greater than 0, a positive number, I can say that the roots are real and distinct. So such a triangle can exist. As the discriminant is greater than 0, the equation has real and distinct roots. We saw this, that the parabola will cut the x-axis at two distinct points, and this right triangular playground can exist. Let us find the dimensions of the two sides of this right triangular playground. Using the quadratic formula which you studied in the previous tutorial and we did in the previous problem, if you recall, was given by x equal to minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac by 2a. Substituting the values of a, b and c from the quadratic equation in the quadratic formula, we get x1 as minus 10 plus under root 196 by 2 and x2 as minus 10 minus under root 196 by 2. As we know, under root 196 is equal to 14. On simplification, this becomes x1 equal to minus 10 plus 14 by 2 and x2 as minus 10 minus 14 by 2. I hope you're writing with me and trying to solve as the tutorial is going on. Hence the roots of the quadratic equation x square plus 10x minus 24 equal to 0 are x1 equal to 2 and x2 equal to minus 12. As the side of a triangle cannot be negative, the perpendicular of the triangle has a length of 2 meters. And from the question we have the information that the base has a length of 10 meters more than the perpendicular, so this becomes 10 plus 2 equal to 12 meters. So this triangular playground has a perpendicular length of 2 meters and a base of 12 meters.